My friends have just finished making my last video. This is actually the second take on this one because I went over the 10 minutes and this is for TikTok, but it'll go elsewhere. Okay, excuse me. This one is to people who want to get themselves into the world of some kind of crime, whatever that might be, okay? Before we get into that, what I want you to understand, if you're watching this, I want you to look around the environment in which you sit as you watch this video. I want you to look at the people that you might be around. I basically suggest you're probably indoors somewhere. So, if you are, I want you to look around. Are they friends? Are they family? You're at work, you've got your colleagues there, okay, you're on a break or something like that, and you're watching this thinking, what's this guy all about? I want you to look, but the one thing that you never look at when you look around and see what you have, the one thing you always take for granted is your freedom. You are outside, you are free. You are free to make all the choices you want. Right or wrong, as long as it's not against the law, you're free to make those choices. Okay? Freedom. You have freedom to go and make a cup of tea, have a cigarette when you want, have something to eat when you want, go to bed when you want, get up when you want, go out when you want, come home when you want. Depending on how old you are, because you know what I mean. You get the gist of this, okay? So, you've got all these things, and you've got a family, whether you're young and you've got your mum, your dad, your brothers and sisters, maybe you've grown up, and you've got your partner and your children, or just you and your partner, yeah? And you've got your home, whether it's your own place, your mother's place, lodgings, whatever it is, you still have everything that you need to make sure that you don't go begging, so to speak. Okay? What are you willing to risk all of that for? What are you willing to risk it for? Because there are things over here you might suddenly start to desire, and you know that people have gone out and they've earned the right to have that, but you don't want to go out and earn it, so you think, well, I'll just take it from you. Thanks very much. Thanks for putting in the hours, buying that, putting it there, so I can come in and take it away. The second consequence is that people pay when they come home from it and find out they've been burgled. One, the shock of the loss and all that and the fear. Secondly, is the fucker still in the house? That's the second fear. Okay? So the police come. And the third one is, are they going to come back so they're sleeping with a screwdriver and a hammer under their pillow, and if you do go back, I hope they use it. So that's one consequence of your crime, but you don't know that because you're not there to see it. All you know is that you went in, took what you wanted, came out, and that's it. So that's the consequence they're paying. Okay? Maybe you want to join a gang and they give you, they send you a task. You want to join a gang, you've got to do this, you've got to stab someone, you've got to rob a house, you've got to steal a car. That gang cares about you so much that they're willing to allow you to lose your freedom and go in a 6x10 cell, okay, in exchange for the world that you live in today, the freedom. Even if you're homeless, at least you have the whole world to travel at your leisure. But that 6x10 cell that you're sharing with your new boyfriend, that's not exactly it's not looking so kosher right now, is it? For a temporary measure, it brings temporary pleasure. Because I guarantee whatever it is you're taking, okay, will give you temporary pleasure in exchange for a long-term stay at Her Majesty's pleasure. But then you've got your family, and what you're saying to them is, especially if it's kids and a partner, okay, what's over here on offer that I want, I'm willing to exchange that and risk losing all of you to have this momentarily where you should be for life. I'm willing to risk that and go to a 6x10 cell because what's over here is more valuable to me than this. And it has to be because you're willing to lose them, and you will most likely lose them in exchange for something over here that you don't even need. Maybe your TV's 40 inches, but this one's 50. So for those extra 10 inches, you're willing to go to prison. Is that right? Maybe your shoes aren't brand name, so because that's got the Nike symbol, for that you're willing to go to prison. Is that right? Maybe the food, maybe you're going to go to shops and start, you've seen all this raiding in Tesco and that, people just going in and emptying the shelves. We know they're most likely just selling it, okay? But for those who do it for food, is that fish fingers, chips and beans, okay, in exchange for whatever it is they're going after? Is it worth that 10x6 cell? Is it worth it? Whatever it is, maybe you've got a leather watch, but you want that gold watch. Whatever it is, it's just a minor upgrade to what you already have. You've got a roof over your head, but you want that roof to be bigger. You've got that TV, but that TV's got to be bigger. Whatever it is you're going after, okay, you don't actually need it. You don't need it at all. You're not going to suddenly die and go without because you don't have it, but you've got to have it because it's lust of the eye. And simply because somebody else has it, it's a form of jealousy. And you see what other people can have and they work hard. You don't want to work hard, but you still want to have it, so you just take it. It's a matter of pride for some people. They just got to do it because they prove that they can do it, okay? And then society makes you feel because you don't have all these things that you're an outcast, no one should talk to you. To some people commit crimes just to get things so they can gain friends. Like some people commit robberies and then they flash the money off and suddenly all their friends are around so the money's gone. But then the pricks go on the internet, as we've seen many times on YouTube and Facebook, and they flash the money off and they tell people what they've done. But what you don't have right now, I'm assuming, is that you don't have someone knocking on your door and having you living in fear about whether that's the old bill to come and take you away from that home and that family and that life of luxury, which you think is life of poverty, to stick you in that 10 by 6 foot cell where you and your boyfriend become best buddies for the next several years. Because that's what you've got. Right now, if you're not wanted by the law, no one's chasing after you, no one's coming knocking on the door, you're not living in fear, you know, you're not wondering about which friend or family member's going to snitch you in for that reward, or which one's going to go into a police station and say, well, you know, I know committed such and such a crime, you give me 10 grand and I'll tell you the name, depending on what the crime is, depending on how much it might be worth paying out for, because people do it for you, do it to you. But what opinion should your family have of you when all they see is that you're actually saying, this is worth to me more than this? And so's your life and protection. Because with me in prison, I'm not here to protect you, I'm not here to provide you for whatever provisions you did provide, as long as it was legal. And then the children are getting abused in school because mum and dad's a jailbird and they've committed such and such. But then it's all over the internet because people are getting their phones out and they're filming this and people love their gossip. So if you think your private life is going to remain your private life, you've got to be joking. That's not going to happen. Not going to happen at all. So is it worth it? Is it worth the crime? Is it worth this temporary pleasure? Is that gang worth exchanging for this, where you will eventually end up probably dead? Very few people get out of gangs alive, whether it be a rival or you want to leave, and they ain't going to let you leave. They're not going to let you leave. Not these serious gangs. You know too much. You've seen too much. You're a traitor. Once you're in, you're in. You can't get out of that. You can't get out of that. If you've got a relationship and it goes wrong, you can walk away and start anew. You get into that and it goes wrong. There's no starting anew. You're gone. You're done. You're part of the M25. We don't need to be a part of the Cratowins anymore for that kind of stuff to happen. These gangs today, they don't give a shit. You can see worldwide, the murder's now becoming a fashion. People are just going in the streets, stabbing everybody up. They're just everywhere. Just everywhere and anywhere. Kids, adults, there's no old bars. Everybody, you never know who your enemy is. You have no idea who your enemy is. None at all. You get yourself in a gang, you don't even really do anything wrong. As long as you're part of that gang, there's a rival gang, see you walking down the street by yourself, and they think there's one, we'll pick him off. And they do you in as a warning to the rest of what can come to them if they mess with them. Even if they've got no beef with each other, one of you gets done in as a warning to the rest, stay away from us, we've all the manor. And you're dead. And your family are burying you. You don't exist anymore. Your consciousness is gone. They've switched you off. And you've got to wonder about whether there is an afterlife or not. Because if you think that that's the worst thing that's going to happen to you when you're dead, no, it's not. No, it's not. Everybody knows there's a creator, and that's an absolute outright fact. So, is it the life of crime? It's getting up in the morning with the sole aim of making other people's lives a misery and hurting them and leaving them living in fear? Is that what you live for in your one perfect existence, in this incredible miracle that you just literally pay no attention to? Where's the score on that? Is it? You get up in the morning, you have all sorts of things to offer all sorts of people in this world. All sorts of things. You choose what you have to offer this world in the one life that you have. And I'll tell you what now, depending on how you live this life, or depending on how your family and your friends will speak about you in that pulpit, in that church, just before they bury you. Will they tell a lie to make you look good? Will they tell the truth to make you look good? Which one is it? Because very rarely do people say anything negative in that pulpit. But if somebody told the truth about you in the pulpit next week at your funeral, if they told the truth, would it be good or would it be bad? Would people put their hands over you and go, oh, well, I never knew that about them. That's disgusting. Or would they be proud to have known you? The choice is up to you. No matter what your history, it only takes a single second to turn it all around, and I'm living proof of that. Regardless of your history, 1 single second to put it behind you, turn it all around and start again. And if you are wanted by the police, you know they're going to come and knock in, do yourself a favour. Go and hand yourself in and get it over and done with. Because if you're wanted now, say you've got to do 2 years in prison, and in 2 years' time they catch you, those 2 years that have gone by, you've now got to still do those 2 years, where you could have done 1 year, got out on probation, it's all behind you and you're working, you've got a family. Do you hear what I'm saying? I know you hear what I'm saying. What you do what I do is entirely up to you, but everything that I do is entirely for you, and it's all out of that. Take it easy, guys. Bye-bye.